Now we will look into irrigation. All living beings need water to live. Water is important for proper growth and development. Water is absorbed by the plant roots. Along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. Plants contain nearly 90% of water. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place under dry conditions. Nutrients dissolved in water are transported to each part of the plant. Water also protects the crop from both frost and hot air currents. To maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth, fields have to be watered regularly. The supply of water to crops at regular intervals is called irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. In summer, the frequency of watering is higher. Sources of irrigation. The sources of water for irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. Furrow irrigation. In this method of irrigation, the water is allowed to enter the field through channels or furrows made between two rows of crop. Basin irrigation. In this method of irrigation, the field is just filled with water as in the case of paddy. Canals, tanks, and wells are the water resources. Farmers dig small canals from tank to fields to supply water. Traditional methods of irrigation. The water available in wells, lakes, and canals for taking into the fields is lifted up by different methods in different regions. Cattle or human labor is used in these methods. So, these methods are cheaper but less efficient. The various traditional ways are moat or pulley system, chain pump, dhekli, and rahat lever system. Pumps are commonly used for lifting water. diesel, biogas, electricity, and solar energy is used to run these pumps. The main advantage of this method is that it is cheaper, but its efficiency is poor because of the uneven distribution of water. It also leads to heavy water loss. Modern methods. The modern irrigation methods help to overcome the problems that exist in the traditional methods. It also facilitates the even distribution of moisture in the field. The modern methods involve two systems. They are sprinkler system, drip system. Sprinkler system. A sprinkler system sprinkles water over the crop and helps in an even distribution of water. This method is much advisable in areas facing water scarcity. Here, a pump which generates pressure is connected to pipes and water is sprinkled through the fine nozzles of pipes. Drip system. In drip system, water is released drop by drop exactly at the root zone using a hose or pipe. It is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens, and trees, and the water is not wasted at all. This method is considered as the effective one in regions where the availability of water is less. What are the weeds and how the crops are protected from weeds? In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Weeding is necessary since weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space, and light. Thus, they affect the growth of the crop. Some weeds interfere even in harvesting and may be poisonous for animals and human beings because they also work as carriers for different diseases. They also serve as a host for different pests. Some weeds disperse pollen grains to air, which in turn cause respiratory diseases. Hence, they should be removed. Farmers adopt many ways to remove weeds and control their growth. Tilling before sowing of crops helps in uprooting and killing of weeds, which may then dry up and get mixed with the soil. The best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. The manual removal includes physical removal of weeds by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground from time to time. This is done with the help of a khurpi. A seed drill is also used to uproot weeds. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides like 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacidic acid. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crops. The weedicides are diluted with water to the extent required and sprayed in the fields with a sprayer. As already mentioned, the weedicides are sprayed during the vegetative growth of weeds before flowering and seed formation. Spraying of weedicides may affect the health of farmers. So, they should use these chemicals very carefully. They should cover their nose and mouth with a cloth during spraying of these chemicals. There are over 30,000 species of weeds around the world. Out of these, 18,000 species cause serious losses to crops. The continuous use of the same method leads to building up of tolerant species. Therefore, a suitable combination of different methods of weed control should be practiced. What is integrated weed management? Integrated weed management combines different agronomic practices and herbicides used to manage weeds so that the reliance on any one weed control technique is reduced. Mechanical, biological, cultural, and chemical methods are included in integrated weed managements. Let's learn about harvesting. Harvesting of a crop is an important task. The cutting of crop after it is mature is called harvesting. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Harvesting in our country is either done manually by sickle or by a machine called harvester. In the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. This process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of a machine called combine, which is in fact a harvester as well as a thresher. Farmers with small holdings of land do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. The period of harvest is thus of great joy and happiness in all parts of India. Men and women celebrate it with great enthusiasm. Special festivals associated with the harvest season are Pongal, Baisakhi, Holi, Diwali, Nabanna and Bihu. Storage of grains. Do you know how the harvested grains are stored for a long time? Usually, in our houses, the grains are stored in a tin after drying them in hot sunlight. Storage of grains is an important task because the entire crop is not consumed at a time. Farmers store the food and wait for the reasonable market price, and these include food grains, oil seeds, and fodder. If the harvested grains are to be kept for longer time, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. Harvested grains have more moisture and should be dried. The grains, if not dried, may get spoiled by microorganisms. Such grains are unfit for use or for germination. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by insect pests, bacteria, and fungi. Food grains are collected in gunny bags and then stored in godowns. Silos and granaries are used for the storage of grains in large scale. Dried neem leaves are used for storing food grains at home. Chemical vapors are sprayed to minimize pests and insects in godowns. This is called fumigation. The stored grains are inspected from time to time. In our country, grains are stored on a large scale in government-owned godowns. In a cold storage unit, the harvested vegetables, fruits, tamarind, chilies, and other products are stored. These crops are usually damaged and decolored within a short time are stored. As the temperature is very low here, the vegetables and fruits can be kept for a longer time in the cold storage units.